What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we're going to be going over the brand new Eevee events coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We have a 7-star raid, but we also have a mass outbreak event. And this makes a lot of sense because we're seeing a lot of these Eevee events in other Pokemon games as well. And of course, guys, if you like the type of content, enjoy these videos, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below. Now let's dive into the 7-star raid. So originally I thought it was going to be a Samurott, but they skipped Samurott, and I do think it'll be Samurott next week after the Eevee. But here we are going to be getting the Eevee, which is going to be a Normal Tera 7-star raid. So this is very similar to the Pikachu raid we had all the way back in February, where it was a Pokemon that's not normally you would think of a raid Pokemon, but they're probably going to juice its stats up to a really high level where I actually consider it might be a little bit challenging, but we'll dive into that in a moment. This is going to be running from November 17th to the 20th. So this weekend, you'll be able to get the 7-star Mightiest Mark Eevee. You can only catch one of these, of course, and that's pretty much the big thing to it. Now, the big question is, what is the HP multiplier on this? The highest we have ever seen in a 7-star raid has been held by 2 Pokemon. One was by the 7-star Mewtwo, which was times 50 HP, and the other was the 7-star Pikachu, which was also 50 times HP. Now, both of these Pokemon also had a held item, right? So we had, believe it was the Chesto Berry on Mewtwo, and we had the Light Ball on Pikachu. Now, Eevee doesn't have a particular item for it, but I do have a suspicion that's probably going to be something like an Eviolite, because it does evolve into other Pokemon, and it is the evolution Pokemon. So that would probably make the most sense and boost its defenses by a good percentage, especially at that times 50 HP. This could be a little bit harder than people are thinking, so I'll still make some good raid strategies for you guys to follow so you can defeat this raid. Now, there is another piece of news with this Eevee coming out, and that is going to be Outbreak events, which is going to be the same weekend, November 17th to the 20th. You're going to be getting Eevee mass outbreaks, and this is going to be similar to how we had the ghost types for Halloween and how we had Clefairy for the full moon. Now they're going to be doing Eevee, which is really awesome because Eevee is still a hard Pokemon to shiny hunt for in this game. It's a rare spawn in general, and its outbreak is incredibly rare, even with the outbreak fix. So I'm glad that this is happening for all the players who still need to get themselves a full batch of shiny Eevees. Now, it's like the other events in the past for the outbreak events. It's not just a shiny you're chasing for. You're actually chasing for particular marks on each Eevee. And there's actually going to be different marks per region here. So now looking at the Paldea region, the Eevees have a 5% chance of potentially getting the Jittery mark, the Intense mark, the Intellectual mark, or the Flustered mark. So if you want to get those, you want to hunt in the base game map. Now, if you have the DLC, you have a couple more options open to you, and you can get Eevees with these in Kitakami. You can get a Rowdy Eevee, an Excited Eevee, a Calmness Eevee, or an Unsure Eevee. So if you want to get those, then go over to Kitakami and try to shiny hunt Eevees over there. Now, my best strat for hunting these Eevees on any mass outbreak event is just keep resetting until you have an outbreak that is going to be near a town or a city, and you can do a town reset method where you can walk into the town, then walk right back out to the field and respawn all the Pokemon as quickly as possible. This is way faster than any sort of picnic resetting as well, and it always works. So you just want to keep on resetting until you get one near a town, and you're going to be good to go in these events. Good chance I'll probably be streaming this at some point this week too to demonstrate it as well. But it should be relatively easy for anyone who's trying to just get shiny Eevees. Now, the marks are 5%, which is going to be pretty hard. And I mean, out of if you get like 20 shiny Eevees, odds are you'll probably get at least one of them with the mark. But, you know, good luck to you. Now, let's actually talk about the Eevee in the 7-star raid again. Let's look at its stats, because I do want to treat it seriously, because we saw the same thing happen with Pikachu, and Pikachu actually beat up a lot of people, and I want to get you guys best prepared for this as possible, and we're going to treat it like a real threat. So it only has 325 base stat total, but, you know, when you do give it an Eviolite, that base 65 of special defense stat is going to be a little bit better because it's going to get like that 50% boost, and the defense is at 50. So, you know, give it an Eviolite and give it times 50 HP, and then this Pokemon is actually going to be a little bit more bulky. Now, of course, it is Tera Normal, which means it's only going to be weak to fighting type Pokemon. So Pokemon like Koraidon, Iron Hands, Galarian Zapdos are going to be phenomenal picks to defeat this Eevee, and I'll dive into a future video further into the actual builds you want for this Eevee, just in case it actually ends up being a little bit more difficult than we thought it would be. Now, looking at the move pool of Eevee, it actually doesn't have a great move pool at all, and it is much more of a physical attacker than a special attacker, so the physical moves are the ones I'm going to be more afraid of. It does have Double Edge, which, you know, Stab Tera boosted Double Edge could be a little bit scary, of course. I mean, the good news is Eevee doesn't have a great move pool, so if you're a rock or a steel type Pokemon, you probably be fine against most of the moves in general. But Double Edge looks scary. Last Resort can be scary too. If it only had Last Resort, that would actually be pretty funny, but probably wouldn't have that. Quick Attack for priority. I don't really see it having that. Bite is probably a move it'll definitely have. I mean, Eevee usually always carries Bite, so I can see like Bite. I can see Double Edge here. And looking at its egg moves, it does get Double Kick. That could actually be pretty decent. Flail could be terrifying when it gets down into the red. It uses a Flail that will pretty much knock out anyone because of how the stats work with Flail and HP remaining. That would be pretty crazy at times with the HP using a Flail when you're in your like the last 10%. So that could be actually pretty crazy. It could use Curse as a stat boosting move to boost its physical attack and defense. It could use Yawn to try to put you to sleep, which could be definitely a little bit scary. Then looking at the TMs here, Trailblaze would be interesting. I mean, would boost its speed. Dig, I can see it have Dig or like Body Slam. Body Slam would be scary because, you know, trying to paralyze you can definitely be a little bit problematic. Besides that, I mean, Shadow Ball is probably what it would have on the special attacking side. Swift, it could have on the special attacking side as well. Tera Blast, Tera Normal would be weird because it also has Hyper Voice, so Hyper Voice would just be a better option in all reality. But besides that, it doesn't really have too much. I'll be super surprised if it was using Charm and Fake Tears, but who knows? I mean, it is an Eevee. The fact that this raid is even happening, sure, maybe we can lower our special defense and just pop us with like a Hyper Voice or a Shadow Ball, or use Charm to lower our physical attack, which make a lot of sense that fighting types are physical attackers for the most part. So lower our physical attack by 2 could be definitely problematic for us. And it has Calm Mind as well, so if it wants to boost its special attack and its special defense, yeah, that could be problematic. Overall, though, I think it's going to be a relatively easy raid. As we already looked at the stats of the Eevee here, it's going to be super easy with 65 special defense and 50 defense, even Eviolite times 50 HP. It's still going to be pretty pathetic. It will have its hidden ability, Anticipation, which is really not a great ability. If it had adaptability, its actual regular second ability, that would be a little bit more scarier. But right now, this is really not a threat at the end of the day. But like I said, we're going to try to keep it real and post the best possible guides I can for this upcoming Eevee raid. And there you have it, guys. Those are all of the events happening for this Eevee. Let me know in the comment section below what you want to evolve your Eevee into from the Mass Outbreak event, and what type of marks you want from the Mass Outbreak event, because we have a lot. It looks like we have about 8 marks here, so you could potentially try for 1 Eevee per mark if you're really into that. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a good one. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.